Have you ever wondered how to boost the Facebook algorithm to get more eyes on your content? How to boost it, where you should be spending your time, how to get the absolute most out of every minute you spend on the platform? Well, I have some tricks to share with you today. If you learn to think about Facebook as an overall ecosystem rather than just a simple platform, you start to realize that what you do on your personal page impacts your business page, which impacts your groups, which impacts your messages, and that all of those things impact each other. And then you can really get smart about hacking the algorithm and boosting your results. So let's dive in and take a deeper look at the social media ecosystem. Let's do this.
Striving for a business breakthrough? Shortcut your learning curve to success with the right training, coaching, and support. Welcome to the Impactful Entrepreneurs Show with Adrienne Hill, a show for coaches, course creators, and network and affiliate marketers striving to earn six figures by leveraging social media without being slaves to their businesses. From an overworked hustler to an impactful entrepreneur, your journey starts here on the Impactful Entrepreneurs Show.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Social Media Sales Summit. Now, this interview is very different and it's very special, and so is the free gift that comes with it. And I have a story to share with you about that. So in this interview, you're going to see me talk with Whit and Cari Higham about the social media ecosystem. But this interview is going to be a little bit different than the rest. You see, when it came time to film this particular interview, we were unable to do it because Whit found himself in the hospital in a medically induced coma on a ventilator with COVID-19. And so they were unable to film the video. So what I did is I took an interview I had filmed with them last year. It's excellent. You guys are going to love it. And I have repurposed it for the purpose of this summit because I still wanted to include them and I still wanted to honor them. And they have so much value to share. And they are honestly some of the nicest people, some of the most intelligent people, some of the most kind people that I've ever met in my life. And so I want to make sure that I honor them and that you get the value of understanding the social media ecosystem directly from them, because there's no one better to hear it from. But they're also friends of mine, and my heart goes out to them at this time. He's been in the hospital for going on over 20 days. As you can imagine, I'm sure the hospital bills are going to be extraordinary. And so their gift is different. Instead of offering a free gift, what I'm offering you is to be one of the first few people to grab Cari's new book, You Got This Girl, the very first book she ever wrote. And instead of being able to celebrate the launch of her book, she's with Whit in a hospital instead. So it's not free, but if you've ever wanted help with your mindset, with getting your thoughts back on track, overcoming adversity, and really just being rock solid mentally in your business, then this book is for you, and it can definitely help you. And every purchase of the book will absolutely help them. So if their interview touches you, if it speaks to you in any way, or if you simply have a heart to help this family get back on their feet, I encourage you to grab their book, and I hope you enjoy the interview. And I am here today with Whit and Cari Higham. I'm so excited. They are the founders of whitandcarihigham.com and Baby Bens, yes. And they're experts in personal branding, attraction marketing, and Facebook marketing. Yes. So welcome, guys.
Thanks so much for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Really just appreciative for being invited to do this. So, yeah.
We're glad to have you here. So I know you guys have quite the audience and list of followers. For those of our viewers who maybe haven't met you yet, can you tell us a little bit about your story and what brought you here today?
Yeah, absolutely. We got our start in network marketing back in
started in
2013. It was the end of 2013, beginning of 2014 when we first started. And when we first started, we had lost everything. We were moving into my parents' basement because we couldn't afford rent. Whit had been laid off for the second time in our marriage. And it was one of those it was a stressful time. Yeah. It was like we kind of started network marketing out of desperation. Yeah. We'll put it that way. Yeah. And not having a big network, we come from the same town of less than 5,000 people. no credibility. We were living in my mom's basement.
So who's really going to want to do anything we're doing? Don't listen to those guys.
We're telling people we're going to be rich, you know? We got started and we failed. We failed miserably our first 6 months, enrolled 0 customers, no distributors. And it wasn't from lack of trying. I mean, we were talking to hundreds of people a month, messaging friends and family, doing all of the things that our upline was telling us that we needed to do to be successful. Yeah. And it just wasn't working.
Yep. And so we spent 2.5 years doing the same thing over and over and over again. And Cari basically had checked out of our business at that point. It was about January 2016. We looked at each other. Well, she looked at me and said, listen, Whit, if we don't figure out a different way to do this thing, we're not doing it anymore. So that's when we got curious. We started looking around. We started wanting to learn actual skill sets around our business. And that's when we came into the online marketing world. And we actually learned how to find the right people, attract the right people. And, so that way we weren't just spending our time talking to everybody, but we were talking to already people that were wanting what we had, right? Yeah. So that's like the big thing that changed for us. And so now 4 years later, we've been able to build a massive network on social media. And as a result of this, won a fabulous belt for doing what we've done actually the last 4 years and being able to duplicate that through other people's, not just in network marketing anymore, but also through different industries. It doesn't matter what they're a part of. We've been able to duplicate that process. So that's kind of where we started and kind of where we're at now.
Yeah. So for people who maybe have never seen a belt quite like this, or maybe they don't know what this is, like, so I know that it's all about attraction marketing. I can see the little magnet on there, and I know this is one of the companies you're involved with, but what does this belt represent? Like, what did you guys have to do to get this thing?
So really, in order to get this belt, so it actually started from one of our mentors. One of our mentors a couple of years ago, he went and did a big mastermind weekend with some pretty successful people in like Facebook marketing and learning strategies when it came to Facebook advertising and building networks on social media and those type of things. And there was a competition where a belt was the prize that was given away. I mean, because no one wants money, right? Who wants money? Like when you can win a cool belt. Right?
It was just something different. It was kind of more of just sitting inside of this mastermind. Everybody made money, right? Money wasn't the issue at this point. It was more of just a pride standpoint of, listen, like, I'm doing something better than you are, right?
And it's symbolic.
It
has like presence. I mean,
So
we get stopped in the airport.
People taking pictures with us all the time, and security asking if it's going to go through the scanners or anything like that. And
I tell people I won at wrestling.
I love that. I love that you're the one that said that, Cari.
Teeny little me.
She ain't wrestling nobody. That's for sure. But so they did that, and he came and taught just a class that we were a part of about some of the strategies that he uses, and he brought the belt, and he actually started using it as a kind of a propaganda piece, like getting people curious about the reason that he had won it, so he could share his method of Facebook advertising, right?
And I remember at this workshop that we went to that he was talking, I remember looking at Whit saying, I want a belt.
I want a belt.
I want a belt. I want something that represents like, that level that we've reached where not only are we really good at, not only have we made money, but we're good at helping other people make money, because that's really what we've duplicated it. And that was what one of the big things was not just, getting a lot of leads, making a lot of money, enrollments, but teaching others and helping other people get that
to do the
too.
So
Which
he brings his belt and everybody wants it, and we wanted one. So
and that's the true measure of a leader, I think, is not just learning how to do it yourself, but learning how to help others succeed. So I love this. So clearly, like when I say they're experts in attraction marketing, like I'm not kidding, guys. Okay. So tell us a little bit about the primary elements that build the foundation of attraction marketing.
So, I think it comes down to 3 simple.
4 technically. I'm going to throw in a 4th one here at the end, because like a lot of
he's going to change it up on
just towards the end here, because I think it's something that's kind of overlooked. When you get into the swing of things, you start growing, you start finding those sales, you start making money, you start having the success that you want. And the last thing that we're going to talk about, just the foundation of this, is something I think super important. Number 1, to keep you grounded, keep you humble, and keep you respectful of your craft. Okay, because there's, being in this industry, there's a lot of inflated egos. And me and Cari have always tried to avoid that as much as we possibly can. If there's any two people in this world, we wanted to win this because we wanted to say that we rubbed shoulders with some of the best and even competed against some of the best when it came to doing what we did. And we accomplished that. But at the same time, we wanted to be humble at the same point and not like, I got this belt, and I'm better than you type of a thing. It had nothing to do with that. And so really attraction marketing is based on four basic principles that we teach our team today in network marketing. We teach throughout our entire brand, which is first thing is grow. You've got to know how to grow effectively, meaning not personally, but like if you're looking at growing a business, like how do I find people? How do I grow my network? How do I grow my influence? Okay. Secondly, how do I engage with that influence? What does that look like?
You engage with those people to build influence.
Engage with those people, build influence over those people. So that way, when you're promoting to those people, which is the third thing, they want to jump on what you're doing because you have so much influence over those people. The last thing is you got to appreciate that process. Okay. So grow, engage, promote, appreciate.
Yeah.
And that is the thing that we teach throughout our entire brand, inside of our own team, people that we work with. If you can get really good at those things, the last thing I love the most, they appreciate the process, because I don't think we spend enough time appreciating what we've been able to do and what other people have been able to do for us. Yeah. So appreciate that process.
Yeah.
And what I really honestly see a lot with you guys is I see you like every day in small ways appreciating the process, but every person that you've made connections with too along the way. And so for the viewers out there, and you're probably noticing a theme now, all these experts, it all comes down to relationships.
Yep.
Right? Like it's real people meeting real people. And I'm one of the people who I ended up meeting them through social, and we became friends. And now look, we're doing a summit together, right? Like,
we are. Yeah.
So I love that. So I know there's a lot of people out there who have been working really hard to build those relationships, build their influence, build their, presence on social. And one of the questions I get all the time, at least when it comes to Facebook, and I know you guys are experts there, how should you handle branding differently between your personal page versus your business page or your fan page?
Yeah. So this is a question we get asked all the time. And it's funny because every expert that you ask this question to, they're probably going to give a similar or maybe even a completely different answer because everybody has their own way of doing things. But when it comes to Facebook, especially, it's its own ecosystem. You've got your Facebook business pages, you've got personal pages, and you've got groups. And the thing is that when it comes to attraction marketing, all three of these things, they actually work synergistically. Oh, here she goes.
Together. They're all on the same platform, and really what they're working on is they are going to work hand in hand. Okay, yes, there might be a little bit of different content that we post in different places, but they are going to work all the way together, because even when me and Cari first started doing this, nobody was really teaching a personal page standpoint. There wasn't a lot out there.
Yeah, 4 years ago,
4 or 5 years ago,
it was actually taught you do not grow your business using your personal page. I remember, you stay away from that.
Only business pages. And now it's kind of starting to creep in a lot more and more around personal pages. And so we got our start focusing more on the business page side of things.
Okay.
That's where we started. But as we started to grow, we noticed that our business page was starting to leak into our personal page. Okay. People wanted to get to know us a little bit more. Who's Whit and Cari? What is their life like? They say they have kids, but we never see them. What do they do with them? They want to see some of that stuff. And so one of the things that we always follow as we're doing this, a personal page is a great way for, let's say, for example, in the network marketing world that we're a part of, we're looking for ways to duplicate ourselves for the 90%ers. Okay. Who are the 90%ers are going to be able to duplicate what we do? Not at the higher level marketing stuff that we know, because it's technical, it's complicated, and honestly, how many entrepreneurs are going to be willing to learn the process and get through the learning curve?
Yeah.
Very small percentage. Okay. So we want to be able to duplicate something. And so a personal page is a great way to grow your network and stuff. But
because it's all organic.
It's all organic. It's a great way to get in front of people. It's a great way to build a stronger relationship with your audience. And the cool thing is even though we use automation to target people on the platform, organics is a great way to do it too. You can get very targeted with the people. So to answer your question of like, how do we distinguish the two? What kind of content should I be posting on there? You can have the same content that you're posting there. You might just do it backwards. Like, for example, like on my business page, I focus on people that are looking specifically for what it is that I have to offer, meaning, you know, they're looking for skill sets. They're looking for training. They're looking for that stuff. So 80% of my business page, 80 to 90% of my business page is going to be
about business,
about that, what they're looking for. Whereas when they start to leak over to my personal page, they're wanting to get to know us a little bit more in detail. Okay. So I flip that, where 70 to 80% is going to be just about me and Cari and our lifestyle, what we like to do, okay, who we like to be. And the cool thing about that is I can plug my business into that, the other 20% mixed in with the 70 to 80%, because I can show the lifestyle because of what my business created, right?
Right.
So I can influence at a more personal level because I can show people this is what we do on a daily basis. And that creates curiosity with people. Well, you know, and we get it in this little small town. What's funny is as Cari said, we're from the same town of less than 5,000 people. They see us go out and do things with our kids while they don't get to experience that as often as we do. So when I get around them, guess what they're doing?
They're asking questions.
Yeah, they're asking questions now all of a sudden. Like, what is it that you do? Do I want to go and do this? And
we tried to talk to you about this 4 or 5 years ago.
And you didn't want to listen to me then, you know, type of a thing. So there's a lot of people that tend to focus on one or the other. Now, a personal page is probably, for the majority of entrepreneurs getting started on a lot of things, going to be, depending on the industry you're part of, going to be probably the place for you. If it's more of a direct sales, network marketing, and stuff like that, just because that's where most people can start. Money-wise, investment-wise, learning for themselves. But don't get me wrong, business pages are very, very powerful if you know how to leverage them.
It's the place where you're going to be able to scale, right? Where you're going to be able to scale and scale quickly because you're using money and skill sets that you paid to develop to be able to grow and scale at that pace. And so it's understanding that each page has its own function of ecosystem, but they all work together to grow your brand and your audience.
Okay. So you're putting 80% business and 20% personal on your business page. You're putting 80% personal and 20% business on your personal page. And then once you're finding techniques that work really, really well, you're putting it on your business page and you're putting some money behind it. Okay. I love that. That's great.
Scaling it.
Scaling it. Yes, exactly.
Fuel on the fire. That's all what that money does is take something that's working, you put money on it so that it works faster.
Yeah, I love it. So, I mean, but one way or the other, you guys are putting yourselves out there. You're showing up, you're putting yourselves out there, you're sharing of yourself, whether it's your business or your personal life. I know for a lot of people, showing up and putting themselves out there, that's the hard part.
Yes.
You know? And people are afraid of rejection. Can you talk a little bit about like the deeper reason why people are afraid of this rejection, afraid of putting themselves out there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, when it comes to rejection, it's actually one of those like fears that is developed from like when you're little, right? From when you're a child. No one wants to be rejected. It could be when you're, you know, you imagine a little child playing with their friends on the playground and maybe they start to be left out, right? It's those little things that cause that. And it actually, as people grow up and they get older, those little experiences, it's those things that like tend to hold us back. It's that fear. And it's something that can actually sabotage a lot of people, because a lot of times with adults, it's not like playing on the playground anymore, right? It's not, oh, I don't want to play with you. It's maybe they're busy. You know, it's not that they're saying no to you. They're just saying no right now to whatever it is that you are trying to promote. Very rarely in the last 6 years that Whit and I have been doing this, has there been someone like openly nasty and mean towards us.
Like a handful of times it happens, but I think
that probably has more to do with them than
absolutely.
And 10 out of 10 times, if somebody's going to get nasty with you, it's on them. Like they're going through something that obviously I can't relate to. We're not going to try to help that.
Yeah, for sure.
When it comes to this fear-based of rejection, I think a lot of it has to do with not necessarily people telling them no, because we get told no all the time. I mean, we're used to being told no, but it's the I'm inadequate. Like I don't think it's the person telling them no. It's that they don't want to try because they're afraid of, well, who's really going to listen to me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, who am I? I'm no expert, right? I don't have anything to show that, you know, I've had success or anything like that. And even when me and Cari were building our business for 2.5 years, I had an $80 residual paycheck to show for it after 2.5 years of hard work. So when we decided to go online and build our business, like, we asked ourselves, well,
who's going to listen to us?
We have nothing, but what we realized is that, you know, I was talking with a lady just on a call just before we jumped on this, because that was her big fear, actually. She's just like, but you guys share your story now and it's so great. And I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't always great.
Mm-mm.
And
Right.
we share a lot of that story. So I realized that, you know, kind of an analogy that we love to use is that the fourth grader is a god to a second grader.
Yes.
And, you know, I mean, there's not a lot of difference between the fourth grader and the second grader, right? I mean, fourth grader has a little bit more knowledge, maybe a little bit more life experience, a couple years.
They can multiply and divide.
And the second grader can't
and
yet,
the second
right?
grader can't yet.
Right.
So I take a look at this and I say, but how come the second grader looks at the fourth grader and says, man, I can't wait to be as cool as you. Like, I can't wait to be there. And so I like to take a look at it is if you're afraid of rejection, just say that there's somebody that hasn't even taken the first step into taking a look at what you're doing, right?
Right.
You're here trying to figure it out. They haven't even started to try to figure out because they're just like, I don't know where to start. So
Everyone's a hero to someone.
you're always going to be a fourth grader to a second grader.
Yep.
You always will. And so when you,
Even us, like, we look at some people that, you know, are just a few steps ahead of us and we go, man, can't wait till we get there.
yeah,
Right.
and-
Even at our,
Yeah.
you know, our status, it's just the way that it is. And one other thing that I think helps with rejection is, or can kind of make rejection worse, is when people start to see that list start to disappear.
Mhm.
You know, they've talked to so many people and all of a sudden they're like, okay, I'm running out of people.
running out of people.
If you have a way that you're constantly growing that audience, like we talked about before, which is one of those fundamental pieces of attraction marketing, if you're constantly growing the audience, rejection doesn't hurt as bad because you have so many other people lined up,
To
you
talk
know,
to.
that
You're not,
are
worried
ready to
you're
say
not always
yes.
worried about the one person.
Right. It's like if 3 people are left on your list and one says no, like, you're sweating. But if you're like,
I only have 2
"Oh,
left.
you have 500
Yeah.
people on your list and someone says no, you're like, meh, there's 499 other people.
Exactly. You're not, you know, some of our early on mentors in this process, that's something that they talked about a lot is if you're worrying about if you're always worrying about the one person, then you're not building a network big enough. You got to focus on growing first before anything else is going to happen, because you're always worried about the one person. So there's a few things that play into the rejection piece, but a lot of it just has to do with the insecurities of, you know, people not believing in them, or them not believing in themselves, but also, like Cari said, I don't want to go through my list because I'm afraid that I'm going to go through all of it and nobody's going to do what it is that I'm doing or buy my product or service or, you know, or something like that. So.
Yeah. So I know a lot of what you guys learned, you kind of learned through building a network marketing business, but I also know you guys do a lot more than that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
you know, these skill sets you're talking about of attraction marketing and building an audience, does that only apply to network marketers, or like, are the things that you guys do and teach, can that apply to any business?
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about this is any business that it's any business really, but especially businesses that are, you know, online based.
Yeah.
You know, the skill sets, they're foundational. And so they can be transferred into, you know, other industries. They can be transferred into other businesses. You know, right now I'm actually looking at pivoting a little bit to, you know, create another income stream in e-commerce. And we're using the exact same skill sets that we've developed: the grow, the engage, the promote, and then the appreciation.
Like we see real estate people getting more into this, and you know, I always talk to people that do insurance or
insurance
real
agents.
estate. I've been trying to talk her dad into, because he's been in insurance and financial advising for the last 20-something years, and I'm like, dude, you're still so old school, and you could be doing this and getting in front of a lot more people faster. So, like I watch these small little businesses open restaurants and stuff, and they go and start a fan page, and they go to their personal page, invite everybody they know to go to that fan page. And then it stops. You never see it gain another person after that. And then they launch and nobody shows up. And I'm like, we live in a town of 5,000 people. I could have literally showed you how to spend maybe $40 and hit all of those 5,000 people multiple times.
Yep.
And get a lot more people showing up to your opening of your brick and mortar business.
Yeah.
So it works across the board. If you're trying to find customers, the process is the same. It's just marketing.
It's the same regardless of your business.
Yep.
And honestly, I mean, if it works for network marketing, I mean, it can work for anything.
Really? I mean, network marketing is
one of the toughest ones to do out there. Yeah. So
it really is.
Yes, believe me, the ones that people don't have already a preconceived notion about, you can get by, you can make it work.
Yeah, make it anywhere. Yeah, I love that. It's been so fun being connected with you guys. And I know everyone's going to love what you shared today. So again, thank you. And for the viewers watching, again, be sure to join the debrief. Let us know what you're going to take action on right away, right? Because you can't get the results if you don't take the action. And truly, you're learning from the masters here. So we want to make sure that you guys get right into action. So see you in the Facebook group, guys. And be sure to stick in for the next few interviews, because every single expert speaker has awesome tips to share and free gifts to give you. I mean, this is abundance beyond. So be sure to cash in on that. And I'll see you guys next time around.
Bye.
See you guys.
You've been listening to the Impactful Entrepreneurs Show with Adrienne Hill, where we support coaches, course creators, and network and affiliate marketers to translate their big picture vision into actionable plans to build out their business efficiently. If you love our show, we invite you to visit buildalifebydesign.com to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover more helpful resources. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, and share. Thank you for listening.